Welcome to DRO 139, Hurricane Debby in Florida. Every DRO is different, so thank you for watching this orientation to get a better feel for this deployment. Early in the morning of August 5th, Debby made landfall in the Florida Big Bend area near Steinhatchee. For those of you who don't know where Steinhatchee is, it's about midway between Tallahassee and Clearwater on the west coast. And there was a deluge of water and heavy winds. Floridians awakened to flooding, no electricity, all utilities down. People left their homes and sought shelters. Also in the Big Bend area, Suwannee, a county of small fishing communities, took a big hit. When fatalities occur, communities feel it. You could see that in the people coming into the shelters. Debby moved inland over northern Florida, moved to southern Georgia, back over the ocean, then made a second landfall in South Carolina. It downgraded to a tropical depression and traveled up North Carolina, then up the Northeast. Upstate New York sustained a significant amount of damage before Debby moved north to Canada, dissipating on August 10th. The Red Cross responded pre-fall to Hurricane Debby and deployed disaster responders to Florida on DRO 139 and sent responders to DRO 159, the combined North and South Carolinas and Georgia. Disaster headquarters for DRO 139 was established at the Tallahassee Red Cross headquarters, then later moved to the Sarasota Red Cross headquarters. In a week and a half, DRO 139 helped a lot of Floridians. They opened 60 shelters, many of which were shared with their partners. Now, we had overestimated the need in that area, so many of our shelters were closed soon, but we provided just shy of 2 million overnight stays for over 36,000 clients. Through mobile feeding with 12 IRFs and using fixed locations, Red Cross served over 4,645,300 hot meals in addition to shelf-stable meals. Distribution of emergency supplies gave out cleanup supplies and other items to about 180,000 families. DA completed over 518,000 disaster assessments, which helped qualify families for assistance. And of those, nearly 82,000 homes had major damage or were destroyed. Now, these numbers qualified for the Red Cross to offer emergency services, immediate assistance to Floridians. Now, this is where we are now. We have completed our response phase, and we're moving into recovery. We'll be conducting outreach to the public so those who are in need will step forward. We do that through Red Cross teams, advertisements, and through our partners. We are bringing in immediate care workers to give qualified families financial support, and the client care program will provide casework. Yes, we are in the last stages of the DRO, but we have a lot of important recovery work to do. You are needed, and we welcome you. Let's look at some of the basics. Of course, you'll need your Red Cross apparel. On a DRO, everyone wears shorts or jeans, clothes that are appropriate for work, and closed-toe shoes. You may or may not have a vest. If you have one, please wear it. You must have your Red Cross ID, either with a vest or on a lanyard whenever you're on Red Cross duty. When we're off work, we take off anything with Red Cross branding. And if you go for a drink with friends, well, you can't have anything that identifies you with Red Cross, including the Red Cross vehicle ID. One of the best ways to succeed on a DRO is by staying informed. You'll be receiving an Incident Action Plan, an IAP, every evening. It gives great information, especially a briefing about disaster and the Red Cross mission objectives for this DRO. Read about the safety messages, particularly about hydration, and a contact roster with all the phone numbers and email addresses that you'll need. The IAP also has a daily schedule of meetings and training events. There are other sources for information. Microsoft Teams not only allows you to meet with your colleagues, it's a place where much information is stored for your use. Your supervisor may suggest that you check out some materials there. Lessons Learned is an interesting internet site. It's a blog where Red Crossers discuss their experiences and they give tips. I've learned some really interesting things on that site. And RC View allows you to see the broad mission of Red Cross across the U.S. or by specific DRO. And here you can see where Red Cross is allocating its resources, how many volunteers, how many shelters, how many IRV drivers, and how quickly a DRO is scaling up. You have your Volunteer Connection app on your smartphone. This is where you'll do your daily check-in. It's very important to do that every day. Be sure to check your assignment, your supervisor, where you're staying, and it's so easy to check your mission card balance on the app. We're always prudent on DROs. We try to protect the donor dollar. But if you do need to reload your card, don't wait to the last minute. And you can do that from your smartphone app. You may get a text to inform you of your lodging. If not, contact staff services. We've been really fortunate on this DR to have good hotel accommodations, but as the DRO gets smaller, rooms may be closed out and you'll be asked to move to another hotel. This is when we can spot the veterans. Long-time disaster responders expect this sort of thing. They move once or twice. They travel longer distances. It's all part of being on the workforce. So we thank you in advance for your flexibility. And of course, you need to tell staff services when you're leaving, and they will direct you to either check out of the hotel or to keep the room for another Red Crosser. If you picked a car up at the airport, remember to tell that to transportation when you check in. They may need the car for something else, or they may let you keep it to carpool. Of course, you'll be doing all the safety measures. You'll wear your seatbelt. You won't text or use the phone when you're driving. Red Crossers drive respectfully. So I don't expect you'll get a ticket, but if you do, it goes on your license and out of your pocket. If you're in an accident, immediately call your supervisor first. Your supervisor will give you the number for logistics. Call and report it to them too. Now, this may not sound relevant, but Florida is so unpredictable. When there's a storm, Floridians will line up and fill up their cars, and sometimes gas stations run out of gas. So don't let the fuel tank get low. Keep it at least at half, better at 2/3. And fuel expenses should be shared with everyone using the rental cards. Use your mission cards. And if it storms, you won't drive through the water, right? This is just a reminder to be super careful. And Red Crossers always get good directions. We don't just rely on the GPS. Cell phone towers can go down. All sorts of things can happen. So always get directions. Now, I imagine that you take good care of yourself in general circumstances, but disaster is disorienting. Pass on the Red Cross snacks and eat healthy. Drink lots of fluids. It's been really hot here. Hydrate. And remember to call home. It will help you to stay grounded, to talk to family and friends at home. Your supervisor will ask you to schedule a day off. Oh, do schedule a day off. I went on so many deployments where I did not. I don't know why. I guess I thought I was um, too tough, or that they needed me so much. I don't know. But in Puerto Rico for Hurricane Maria, the supervisor insisted everyone take a day off. So I went to Old San Juan. The next day, I could tell a difference. I really was better with my teammates, better with the clients, better with people who reported to me. So if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for the mission. COVID is still real, and we need to be aware. Wear a mask or don't, but notice if someone has a cough or a raspy voice and mask up. And if you have cold symptoms, you'll need to test. Don't go out of your room. Call your supervisor. This isn't being wimpy. It's protecting your teammates. I know. My IRV partner at Ian thought she just had allergies. Other safety reminders. We all know not to mess with electrical power lines, but watch for them and be attentive for the smell of gas. A new concern is being caught up in a large group of protesters. My first reaction on seeing a large group of people, it's a parade. We're living in strange times, and most likely it's not a parade. We don't want to get involved in that, and we certainly don't want to involve Red Cross. I think it goes without saying that Red Cross has a zero tolerance policy for violence or harassment of any type, whether it's staff, volunteer, or client. And as with any issue, go to your supervisor. Red Cross has an effective procedure to resolve problems using feedback, coaching, and sometimes mediation. The first stop is your supervisor. If he, she, they can't resolve it, then you contact staff relations. Then finally, operation management. On one of my past deployments, I had a friend who had a problem with her supervisor. She went to staff relations in staff service and then through this system. To my surprise, it turned out to be one of her favorite deployments. So just consider it if you're having a problem. We don't tolerate, we embrace the diversity of our clients and our volunteers. We are neutral and we respect people's perspectives even when they don't agree with ours. However, during these unusual times, please avoid discussions of politics and religion. We'll have the opportunity to interact with people with a variety of disabilities. We ask, we listen, and then we will be told how we can help. The Red Cross phrase, getting to yes, comes to mind when trying to meet needs in a disaster. If we can't come up with a solution to meet a need, we raise it to the level of the supervisor. We love our clients and we're empathetic. That's why we're here. We do sometimes need to ensure that we're not being judgmental. We help anyone who needs our help. For instance, people who were homeless before the floods also have needs. We would never turn them away. Many people who work with clients have very high empathy. Being an empathetic person is great, but it may be difficult during a disaster. Real empathy is like living someone's experience with them, and it can produce compassion fatigue. Try not to feel your client's pain. That's their story, not yours. Your role is to be strong, compassionate, and reassuring. Supervisors, please give a job induction at the beginning. What is a job induction? And that's when you share with a new worker the responsibilities that are theirs and how you'd like it to be done with total clarity. Then, when it comes to writing an evaluation, which everyone is doing now, it's so easy. You talk about the specifics about the job responsibility and be sure to be positive and thank your workers. Cameramen and reporters would love to take pictures and get information, especially from the shelters. It's our job to keep the privacy of our clients. Now, you could give your name and where you're from, what activity, specific activity that you perform, but it's best to ask the media to contact public affairs or to get your supervisor. Why? Well, Red Cross has agreements with its Red Cross partners, and even when you're being super careful, it's easy to step on toes. Social media is available to us, but we need to protect our clients. We cannot post pictures showing their faces without an official waiver from Red Cross. But as Red Cross ambassadors, we do have the opportunity to write about our positive experiences on Facebook and Twitter, X. But if you've had difficulty on a DR, I suggest that the place to write about that is on Lessons Learned, the Red Cross blog. You may get some visits from well-intentioned people from the community. They will bring clothing that they've collected, shoes, food they've cooked. And this is difficult because we really need to be so appreciative of their kindness. It used to be that we didn't take clothes, but there was so much pushback and we got really bad press for that now we cannot refuse it. It's best if you have the name of a place nearby that really does want the clothes. And of course, we can't take food. Red Cross would be liable for handing out food that somebody brought in. If someone asks how they can help, a financial contribution of any size is appreciated. You can take a look at these ways that they can donate, but the easiest to remember is www.redcross.org. And then so soon, it's time to go home. If you have a car or equipment, you'll return it and make sure it's out of your name. Checking out with staff will be over the phone. It is the policy that supervisors submit an evaluation for their volunteers, even if they have served under them for at least 7 days. If they've served 3 days, volunteers who ask for an evaluation are supposed to be given one. I don't know why we penalize people who don't know about that policy. So I think if someone reports to me for 3 days or more, I write some sort of evaluation. I write something. And then their next supervisor can write in addition. And suddenly you're home. It's disorienting that life has moved on. The disaster is old news, while you know that the devastation still remains. Red Cross Mental Health has a worker who will call you within the first week. Now, you've been dealing with people who have lost their homes, been displaced, lost family or friends. Our clients look to us to vent and debrief. But the Red Cross nurses are dedicated to listening to your experiences, both the hard ones and the joyful times. Share your experience with others. Your family is proud of you, but they won't understand the depth of your emotions. They can't possibly imagine the life-changing perception that you're experiencing. Get together with Red Crossers in your chapter. Call somebody you were on deployment with. Do some public speaking for the Red Cross, but do give yourself some time. Then join us again. Thanks for your service. At the bottom is my email address. I'm Susan Dietrich. Please write me if I can help you in any way. And have a great deployment on DRO 139.